Have you heard the story of a 5-year-old African boy trained as a Shaolin monk who stood fearlessly against an invading force to save countless lives? Today, we dive into an extraordinary tale of courage, resilience, and unwavering spirit. It's the story of young Kato, a child born under mysterious circumstances and raised within the sacred walls of the Shaolin Temple. Though small in stature, Kato's bravery would inspire warriors and sages alike, reminding us all that true strength knows no age or boundary. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and join me as we explore this incredible story of hope, resilience, and the power of a fearless heart. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's begin. In a secluded mountain range, the legendary Shaolin Temple stood as a beacon of peace and discipline for centuries. Monks of all ages dedicated their lives to mastering the mind and the body, striving to align their spirits with a purpose higher than themselves. The temple was home to many monks, but among them, one stood out. A 5-year-old African boy named Kato. Though young, Kato was wise beyond his years, with eyes that had already seen too much and a heart that was resolute and strong. Kato was adopted into the Shaolin Temple as a newborn, found on the temple's steps one icy winter morning. The monks took him in, raising him in the tradition of ancient wisdom and martial arts. Despite his age, Kato mastered techniques that others struggled with for years. His movements were fluid, his balance unbreakable, and his focus as sharp as a blade. But there was a humility in him that kept him grounded. He did not fight to conquer others, but to conquer himself. One day, a shadow crept over the mountains surrounding the temple. Ruthless warlords from the neighboring kingdom, threatened by the growing influence of the Shaolin monk, decided to eradicate them. The monks stood together, prepared to defend their home. As the enemies gathered at the foot of the mountain, their cold steel glinted in the setting sun, casting a dark omen over the temple. The monks, though skilled, were outnumbered, and the enemy was merciless. Kato sensed the danger long before he saw it. In the silence of the temple courtyard, he watched as his elders readied themselves for what could be their final stand. But Kato, small and innocent-looking as he was not afraid. He had been raised to face fear head-on, to use it as fuel rather than flee from it. He knew that even the smallest warrior could make a difference, and that night, he would need to. When the enemy finally breached the temple's outer gates, the air was thick with tension. The monks stood their ground, knowing they were prepared to give everything. Yet the evil men saw the little monk standing calmly among his elders and laughed, mocking the child who dared to face them. But Kato didn't waver. His eyes, fierce and steady, met each of theirs. He took a deep breath, anchoring himself, and fell into a fighting stance. With swift, precise movements, Kato began to take down opponents twice his size. His small frame darted between the raiders, dodging their strikes, using their own force against them. The monks around him were spurred on by his courage, their spirits renewed as they fought harder, pushing back the invading force. His every move was like a dance, flowing from one technique to another. He was focused, yet his heart pounded with an intensity that kept him alive and alert. Hours felt like minutes as he fought, tireless and unwavering. His strength did not come from sheer force, but from his determination, his resilience, and his unbreakable spirit. The more he fought, the more the attackers grew wary of the little monk. They started to fall back, their confidence shaken. How could such a young child possessed such skill, such strength? But Kato's resolve was unyielding, fueled by the protection of his home, his family, and the life he cherished. Finally, dawn broke over the mountains, casting a golden light over the battered temple grounds. The enemy, bruised and beaten, retreated, realizing they were no match for the monks they had so underestimated, especially the small, fierce boy who stood as the temple's strongest shield. As the last of the warlords fled, Kato lowered his hands. His stance relaxed once more, though his heart still raced. Around him, the monks gathered, some wounded, all weary, but victorious. They looked at the young monk with admiration and awe, humbled by his bravery. They knew that Kato had not just defended the temple, he had inspired them all. A reminder that courage had no age and that strength of spirit was a force even the greatest of armies could not defeat. Kato's story spread, becoming a legend among those who valued resilience and the power of a fearless heart. His victory that day was not just against an external enemy, but against the doubts and fears within himself. And through his actions, Kato taught them all that true strength comes from an unwavering dedication to protect what one loves, no matter the odds. The world came to know of Kato, the young African Shaolin monk, whose heart was as fierce as his hands were swift, a symbol of hope, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that lives within us all. The story of young Kato teaches us that true courage isn't defined by age, size, or background. It's born from a deep commitment to protect and uplift those we hold dear. Kato's fearless heart and unbreakable spirit remind us that even when faced with impossible odds, resilience and faith can help us overcome any challenge. His journey is a powerful inspiration for anyone facing doubts or struggles, showing us that strength comes from within. If Kato's story moved you, please like this video and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us of the power within each of us to make a difference.